Many people these days are asking, is Park City real estate going up or down? Good question, and the answer is yes. My name is Ron Wilstein, and I'm a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties here in Park City, Utah. Each month I present a Park City Market Talk webinar where I try to educate buyers and sellers about the real estate market and about Park City in general. My audience for my Park City Market Talk webinars is made up of people who are either considering buying a property here or they already own one. Each month they are always casual observers who are just curious what's going on, and they're not trying to make a buying or a selling decision. But most people are very interested in what's happening in the Park City marketplace because they already know they want to make a decision. The question is when. They don't want to make the wrong decision. They want to make the right decision, and they want to do it at the best possible time. Casual observers, of course, will do nothing because they don't have to do anything. They have nothing tugging in their lives requiring a decision. On the other hand, there are those who do want to make a decision, but they often hesitate out of fear that they will make the wrong one, so they make no decision at all. On the one hand, it's totally understandable. Our Park City real estate market has undergone significant changes, particularly in the last 6 months. And then you look at the world, and it's going through significant changes. In our own country, higher interest rates. We're grappling with inflation. Is the recession coming? The stock market, very volatile and uncertain. So it's a crazy time, but the uncertainty extends beyond the United States because you can look further globally, and there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty because of war, because of tensions in Russia and China and North Korea and so forth. So for many of us, this is perhaps the most uncertain time that we've ever experienced in our lives. Now, when we return to the initial question, is Park City real estate going up or down? And I said yes. It's important that you're familiar with what is happening in the Park City marketplace. Each month, I present a Market Talk webinar to give you a market update. So let's take a look at what's been happening. There's been 2,698 sales in the last 12 months. That consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land. And that is all real estate brokerages combined. That's down 11% or 345 sales from the period the year before. We take a closer look, we break it into the categories of homes, condos, and lots. And the red bars represent the last 12-month period from September 2021 to August 2022. And the silver bars represent the 12-month period beforehand. And just by taking a quick glance at this graph, you can see that it's down in all three categories, homes, condos, and lots. Down 607 sales among homes, dropping from 994. That's a 39% decrease. 25% decrease in condos, dropping from 1,543 to 1,163. And then 28% drop in lots from 870 the previous year to 629. So clearly we are seeing the number of sales dropping. The question is why? Now I want to look at it in terms of homes and break it into geographical areas. The three geographical areas are the Park City city limits, the Snyderville Basin, still regarded as Park City, and then the Jordanelle area. And here we're seeing a decline in 2 out of the 3. Among homes in Park City, there's 146 this past year. That's down 54% from 316 the year before. Among Snyderville Basin, a 44% drop-off from 571 to 319. Now, of course, the Snyderville Basin is a larger area. And then the Jordanelle area, interestingly enough, we are seeing an increase of 33%. So a movement out there because there's more properties available. It's going further away from center of Park City. But in the Jordanelle area, we saw an increase from 107 to 142 sales. That's what's happening in terms of home sales. Shifting to condominiums, we see that drop off again. In Park City, a 39% drop from 589 to 361. In the Snyderville Basin, a 16% decrease from 661 sales to 555, and in the Jordanelle, among its condominiums, a 16% drop-off from 293 to 247. Finally, let's look at vacant land. Of course, in the Park City limits, there is not a lot. It did drop 31%. There were 35 sales in the past year compared to 51 the year before. But again, keep in mind that we have very, very limited inventory. But here is worth taking a look at. In the Snyderville Basin, a significant drop, 62% of lot sales from 362 to 137. And in the Jordanelle, it was even unchanged at 457. So these are the number of transactions in the categories of homes, condos, vacant land in the areas of Park City, Snyderville Basin, and the Jordanelle. And when you look at all this information together, it's obviously that the number of sales is dropping in most categories. There was really only one that it didn't drop. This is due to a lack of properties to purchase, so some of it has to do with you can't buy that which isn't on the market. But we are also seeing a slowdown in the market. And if you follow our webinars, it's the first time we're really talking about it. We were hinting to it, but we've seen enough evidence. Clearly, there is a slowdown in the marketplace. So we saw that the number of transactions clearly decreasing. What's happening on prices? The opposite. Here we're looking at home medium sold prices. Again, we've got the three areas, Park City, Snyderville Basin, and the Jordanelle. And the prices in Park City went up 35%. Medium sold price climbed from $2,850,000 to $3,850,000, a $1 million increase year over year. Snyderville Basin, an 11% increase, climbed to $2.1 million from the previous just under $1.9 million, so a $200,000 increase. In the Jordanelle area, where we're seeing a lot of activity, we saw a decrease in prices from $2,550,000 to $1,722,937. Now keep in mind there's a variety of properties out there. They all are newer than inside the city limits or the Snyderville Basin, and they are in different price points. So what is accounting more for the price reduction isn't lack of interest in the Jordanelle area. That's obvious from the earlier sales, but the inventory that was available to be purchased were less expensive properties. Let's turn and look at condominiums. Prices in the city limits rose by 25%. Previous medium sold price for condominiums was $1.2 million, climbed by $300,000 to $1.5 million. Saw a whopping 71% year-over-year increase in the Snyderville Basin, from $605,000 to $1,035,000. Again, somewhat influenced by lack of inventory and prices climbing, somewhat influenced by different price of property available. Jordanelle saw a 24% increase in land values, climbing from $763,531 to $943,000. So prices going up there in each category. Now we take a look at vacant land. Look at this, Park City, 40% increase. Oh my gosh. Again, we're not dealing with a lot of sales, but the median price rose from $1,450,000 to $2,025,000. Snyderville Basin, a 32% increase from $700,000 to $922,500. And in the Jordanelle area, a modest 185% increase. This is medium sold prices for vacant land, climbing from $409,000 to $755,000. Again, the cost of the product available to be purchased was up as a basis, and so this isn't just appreciation. This is a more expensive product being sold compared to the previous year. Nevertheless, we look at all of this information and we cannot help but observe that prices rose in every category but one by double digits, with two exceptions. And the highest increase we just saw was 185% over the previous year's prices. So we saw a downward arrow when it comes to number of sales and an upward arrow when it comes to prices. So what about time on the market? We monitor this to see what the market is doing, how quickly people are acting to put deals together, or is the market slowing down? This time we're looking at a 6-month period, so we're going back with the red bar 6 months, March 2022 to August 22, and the silver bar represents going back to the previous year, September through February. This is pretty interesting. Closed sales, medium time on the market, last 6 months, 7 days. 6 months before that, 14. Both those numbers are incredibly fast sales. Makes you wonder, does this even make sense, that what we're seeing? But clearly you're seeing from selling that properties that are priced well are selling in record fast time, 7 days medium time on the market. But if you overprice it, then it's taken a long time and the number of sales have dropped. Indecision. It's very common these days, and it often stands in the way of us making progress in our individual lives, sometimes in our families, and frequently in our businesses and our careers. It's just a lot of uncertainty in the world. And I don't have a magic answer for you, but I may have some helpful advice as it relates to Park City real estate. I believe the most important question you can ask yourself is, what do you want in your life, in your family, in your work or career, in your retirement? If you already live in Park City and own a property here, ask yourself, what would you do if you sold your property? In other words, what would be the purpose? If you're trying to buy a property elsewhere, move, totally makes sense. Makes it easier to make the selling decision. If you have other objectives, you need to figure out if selling a property helps you accomplish those. If you own a property in Park City, but Park City is not your home, the reasons you originally purchased your property, you want to go back and revisit and see if they're the same. If they're the same, you probably want to continue to keep your property. If they've changed, then maybe you're not using it as much, or the kids are older, or any number of different reasons. Maybe it helps you answer that question as to what you want. If you don't currently live in Park City, but you enjoy coming to Park City, and you like the Park City lifestyle, and you want to be able to experience it on a daily basis, then now is probably the time to buy. So you just want to ask, what do you want? Give yourself permission to make the change, and then go for it. Park City is a great place to live. It's heavily sought after because of the lifestyle it offers. Of course, there's the great skiing and the snowboarding, and then there's the mountain biking and the hiking, fine dining, entertainment, our outdoor concerts. If you want in, get in, buy. If you want out, you want to take advantage of the increased property values, sell. There are good choices on both sides of the spectrum, no matter what your situation is. What you don't want to do is you don't want to make this so hard on yourself. And I'm seeing this more and more, particularly with buyers, but also with sellers. Information is coming to you in so many different directions. It's hard to process it. And when you get information coming fast and furious, it creates uncertainty. It results in paralysis and a fear of making the wrong decision. And so whether you're on the buying side or the selling side, these things can paralyze you, and then you don't do anything. And my suggestion, and it's just common sense, the future is yours to create. I don't know what the right decision is for you, but don't get hung up on where you are today. Reach out to where you want to be tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email, ron@thewilsteinteam.com, or my son Jeremy, who's traveling today, jeremy@thewilsteinteam.com. Love to talk to you about what your questions are and what's going on in the Park City marketplace. And I want to thank you for watching our webinar, and don't forget to bookmark BuyParkCity.com. Lots of valuable information there, so definitely check it out.